Hi and welcome to a new part of this color along or color watch me color. Lately I've been in love with watercoloring. I try to be better at it, so for Rapunzel's clothing I wanted to try my paints from China, a very cheap Chinese watercolor set. I swatched the colors out on the morning that I've filmed this, and yeah, I was really excited to try and mix the provided colors that I already had. Yeah, I had discovered that I lost the back page already due to using the Albrecht Dürer pencils, so I just could jump straight into the picture without being afraid of ruining it. But if you are using watercolors on thin paper, then be careful. Always check the back side. And I just did a sneak peek to look where the darkest shade of pink should go. This shade I'm using purely, so it's not a mix with white. That will be something I will do later on. And I've recorded this video and doing a voiceover again because I really like doing that. It gives me more of an idea what to talk about, and yeah, it's more relaxing, and I can film whenever I want now. So, and I really like that. And here's this little part done. That wasn't drawn on the cover, so maybe it's in the brightest pink in the Disney movie, but yeah. And I plan on adding some details with pencil later on once everything is dry, but for now, as a base, I thought it was super fun to do. And like I said in my previous video, I could never have imagined doing paints in coloring books, especially not in coloring books with thin paper, but yeah, I don't mind too much that I've lost the picture on the other side. So yeah, and I think I'm mixing the brightest color now. I think I will going to show you. Yes, here I am. It's the same pink that I've used on her dress already, and I'm going to mix it with some white paint. I'm sorry. So here's the white. I love pink, so Rapunzel is a nice princess to color. Okay, here we go. And I did go in way too quick after the darkest shade of pink, because you see on the bottom that it is beginning to merge. And lucky enough, I was capable of removing it a bit. So I really have to learn a lot about watercoloring yet, but yeah, it's just fun to play around. And it's another kind of, yeah, bringing a page to life. And the process of mixing your own color is nice too. I have a bright pink in this set, but it's almost fluorescent, and of course that wasn't suitable for her dress. But with the same pink that I have used already and then some white, it was just a perfect color mix. And as you can see, or maybe it's because my daylight lamp was off at that moment, the golden touches on her hair are not visible now. And whilst painting her top, I discovered that I did color too much hair. I've mislooked while coloring her. So when I will be adding the purple on her top, that mistake will be made right again. So for the purple I've also mixed my own shade. And it's just such a quick way to color in a page. And now I've realized that I did a mistake with her hair. So the color is a bit more different than the other, but that can be due to the shading or due to the position of her right arm. So no harm done. And when I'm going in with some extra pencil, it will be less visible. I do think her hand is too dark or too grayish, but yeah. So really hope you like this type of video, me coloring and chatting afterwards. I talk much more now, I realize. I'm sorry for those who aren't keen on a lot of chatting, but I think it's nice to explain what I do or why I'm doing some things. And here's the color for Pascal. I love him. He's such a cutie. Just adding some water again with my spray bottle to activate the paint. And of course, if the other paints are still wet, you have to be very careful to color in another subject already, but it wasn't a problem now. Like I said before, I love these brushes. They are super fine. Like you can do very small details with them. I can only recommend them. Now my little friend is also becoming alive. And I have an idea to do the background behind her and Pascal, but I will do that at the very end. I really hope I'm not messing that up, because it's with a stencil and I would like to use some ink or paints. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, let's cross our fingers that it turns out okay. When I'm recording this voiceover, I still haven't done the background, so it will be a surprise for me too, to see how it will work. Maybe I will have to try it out on a separate paper. Now I'm going in on her sleeves, I think these are called, with the white signo, to cover the black lines so that it looks more like embroidery or something. A town here in Belgium called Brugge is very known for kantklossen it's called, but I don't know the English word. And I also wanted to use some kuretake paint to give it a bit of shimmer, and then it was nice to cover up the black lines. I'm not always sure which pen is the best for adding white details. Sometimes the color of the pencil or paint bleeds through Signo, but it also does with Posca, so it's not always easy to find the best solution for covering up black lines. Gesso is an alternative, but yeah, maybe I could use it. I could have used it on this one. Didn't think about that, but here the lines were easily covered up, but it's not always the case in every picture. So now it's looking less harsh without those black lines. There was too less of that pink paint, so I did put some extra on. So, and this is the close-up. And now I'm going to add some kuretake paint. And here they are. It wasn't too smart to zoom in first and then show the paints, but okay. And excuse my ugly nails. We are renovating a house, and we did some renovating job yesterday, and tonight I will be polishing my nails again for the new work week, to start with a nice new polish, or not new, but a fresh manicured nail. But for now I was still walking around with my ugly nail polish that was already on for a week and was hurt by the works we did in our house. So I'm using the most light kuretake paint. I was planning on using the Paul Rubens first, but the gold is already Paul Rubens, so. And now we have both paints. I've put on my daylight lamp to make the paint visible. And now I'm going in with some gray for the window. And it was only after that I'm not mixing any paints, I'm just grabbing some spare and adding a bit of more water. And then it was unfortunately too late that I realized that I could have used a wider brush for this part. So I will be stopping to film after I did a part of the window, because yeah, it would have took ages. And I like that the texture is rough. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now you can see that glow in her hair with the daylight lamp on. And I did choose this palette for this page because the paper isn't that thick, and these paints are not expensive. They are reasonable in quality, quite good. Sometimes in some paints I have some how do you call these things? It's not a flat paint, it gets a bit crumbly. So I prefer using this type of watercolor paint in some cheaper books instead of using the Kuretake, or the Sonnet isn't expensive too. But I prefer to use these in more expensive books. But for some simpler books or thinner paper, these paints are really, it's a wide range of colors and they're just perfect for this purpose. And I'm glad I finally did my swatches. I had swatched them out in my book, mentioning the names, but it was too difficult to look at my book and then starting to count which color was which. So in the morning I decided to make my own swatches to put in the tin itself, and it's super helpful. And here I was smudgy again. It's strange to see myself color yeah, without some blah blah and putting in the blah blah afterwards. But I like to do it. It's nice. It's fun. And I don't know how speed coloring works, but yeah, I prefer to stop a video and start recording again when another part is done, because I'm too unfamiliar with editing, and I'm already happy that I found how to do a voiceover. I had to look for the button how to do so and how to mute background colors, because when I was filming this there was a film playing in the background. So and I almost decided to stop filming this, I think, because it was just too boring to look at. I'm sorry I haven't stopped it sooner. And the paper is quite wrinkly, so it's not that easy to put on these paints. You can see the crinkliness on the top. Okay, now it's about time to stop and to do the bottom part without recording. And then I used a wider brush, so it was done quite quickly. Okay, bottom part is done. And I did go over the top with that wider brush also. And now I'm going to color in those bushes. And I think it's kind of an olive color, I believe. And I'm going to color the detailed leaves in Prismacolor pencil, but the part that I'm painting now can be painted, maybe with some extra shadow here and there, but the details or the focus may lie on the separate drawn leaves. And again for the second one. Now once this is done, it can have a really good drying time so that I don't crack up the page when coloring in or adding some pencil details. So I think that's about it. Am I doing something different? Oh yes, I'm going to add that little part where I first had her hair colored. Going to add some extra color there. And doing the top again to make it similar to each other. And then it's time to say goodbye. The last part will be coloring in with pencils, and I hope I see you again. Bye bye.